Welcome to the Ravenswood City School District Regular Board Meeting of May 11th, 2023. The board meeting is called to order at 6:30. Right, if there are any public speakers, you can complete the yellow form that is in the back there for any item that is agendized, or if you would like to speak when we come back from closed session. So I will move on to roll call, which is starting with trustee Bronwyn Alexander.
Here.
Trustee Tamara Shabomahim. Here. Trustee Melike Latu is absent. Trustee Laura Nunez, Vice President Laura Nunez. And I myself, Jenny Verghese Bloom, am present. We have quorum. We will move on to item number 2, approval of the agenda. Do we have any questions or comments regarding the agenda?
I'd like to pull item 7A.
Thank you. So I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda, pulling item 7A from the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 4-0. We are going to go ahead and move on to closed session. So if we have any members of the public who'd like to address anything that is agendized for closed session, as I see none, I will adjourn to closed session at 6:31, and we will return at around approximately 7:15.
Ay, qué dolor de cabeza. Tararara, tararán, 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 tararán. Quieren irse luego hoy.
Mira, consideración para declarar un asunto como surplus. ¿Cómo se dice surplus en español? Surplus.
Superávit.
Mm,
Superávit.
Un superávit. Ok.
Welcome back to the Ravenswood City School District regular board meeting. We are coming back to open session at 7:36 p.m. I'm going to give a report for action or taken in closed session. So for item number 3A, there was discussion, no action was taken. For item number 3B, there was discussion and no action was taken. We'll move on to item number 6, which is from the floor. If there are any public speakers, they should complete the yellow form. And so do we have any members of the public who would like to address anything that is not agendized? This would be the time to do so. I see none. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next item, which is approval of the consent agenda. So 7A first. Okay, so I will, because we pulled 7A. Do we have any comments on anything that is on the consent agenda? No. Okay, so for item number 7A, I will entertain a motion to approve item number 7A.
Through the chair, I'll make a motion to approve item 7A.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. So motion and all opposed, none abstain.
Aye.
So motion carries 3-0-1. We will move on to item number 7, the consent agenda with 7A pulled. Do I have a motion for approving the consent agenda?
Through the chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a,
I'll second.
thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I see that we have guests in the room.
We do have guests, and very briefly, I just want to recognize that the board just approved the consent agenda, and on the consent agenda, we have Christian Miley, who's here, we recommended for principal at the Cesar Chavez Ravenswood Middle School. Christian, please stand up really quick. We would also like to recognize Jeremy Packman, who will be the principal at Castaño School of the Arts. And also present, we have the vice principal at Castaño School, Elizabeth Carriage. The board also just approved Kyle Tana, who's been a longstanding educator in the Cesar Chavez Ravenswood Middle School, and Sarah Lito as vice principal. Thank you. We will share more information about the new hires in our social media, newsletters, and other outlets.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the team. We look forward to having you here at Ravenswood, and you will see all of us, hopefully multiple times, definitely me at your schools. So be ready. Always be ready. But welcome. We are excited to have you join our team, and we are looking forward to working with you and for you to get to know our community even more than you already do. So thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to item number 8, which is the consideration to approve MOU with Bay Ed Fund.
Through the chair, we do have a brief presentation. And so we do have staff who are online who will co-present with me as well. And then we also have representation from Bay Ed Fund if there are any questions. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And we have Cylindra McCray, Chief Strategy Officer, who will kick us off.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Cylindra McRae, and I'm so happy to be here tonight to talk
We
about
can't
our.
hear you yet.
Uh-oh.
We
Now?
can't hear you, Cylindra. So
Now?
hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Say something, Cylindra. please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
Oh.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. So thank you so much. Definitely glad to be here, and I'm happy to be talking about our community-led strategic visioning process in partnership with the Bay Ed Fund. I'd like for you all to think for a minute. If you were to pick a stakeholder in our community, what would you hope that they would say about our Ravenswood School and our journey in 5 years? whether it be a current kindergartner, a grandparent, longtime Ravenswood resident, or volunteer, I am almost certain that the sentiments that we want shared have some connecting factor to a high-quality experience of student success. Therefore, this evening, we will provide context on our partnership with the Bay Ed Fund, share what the strategic visioning process will look like at a high level, and why we are engaging in the SET approach to strategic planning. So, what is strategic visioning? Simply put, it is a long-term, comprehensive picture of our district's goals and the method for achieving those goals. It guides our district's strategy and decisions. Because our goal is to transform education outcomes for students in Ravenswood, our models of success have shown us that the level of transformation occurs with a deep investment in partnership and listening to our community. Intentionally focusing on concerted ways of hearing from those with a vested interest in our district's success and creating a unified vision based on collaborative input is what we believe will create the visionary clarity and guidance that will resonate for all stakeholders. When we are all rowing in the same direction, we achieve a shared vision that builds upon a cohesive structure of plans and priorities for years to come. So now I will pass it over to Superintendent Sudaria to expound a bit more on the power of a shared vision.
Right. So I want to highlight here how the power of a shared vision can transform Ravenswood's education system. So the idea is to bring together the efforts of various groups, including empowered families and students, aligned system leaders and educators, a committed community coalition of nonprofits and government agencies, and philanthropic organizations to work collaboratively towards realizing a shared vision for better education outcomes. By aligning these groups towards a common goal, Ravenswood can achieve exemplary performance with everyone playing an equal part in advocating for and implementing strategies for improvement. Through collaboration and capacity building, the community can work towards a co-design vision that is sustained beyond the contract of a superintendent or the term of elected officials. A shared vision can empower and unite a community towards achieving significant and sustainable progress in the education system. Joy Shin, our strategic projects coordinator, will share with us the long view.
Thank you, Superintendent Sudaria. This is a high-level view of the timeline of the strategic visioning process that we would like to partner with the Bay Ed Fund to execute. We've already begun working on some of the initial preparation stages this spring and started building community, gauging needs, and securing partnerships to help us embark upon this envisioning process. The next core phase of work that we are prepared to launch is the Envision phase, which will take place over an 18-month period beginning this fall. And we'll review the key goals from that phase on the following slide. But once this vision has been set into place, then we imagine being able to implement and continuously iterate on that strategy over the course of the next several years. So we are laying the groundwork now for a shared vision that we create together that will guide us in all of the work that we continue to do in the years to come. Going to the next slide, these are the 5 core goals that we are hoping to accomplish with our partnership with the Bay Ed Fund for this next phase of visioning work. The first is to forge a coalition, and this is about establishing teams that will help us create the process. And teams here does not just mean the teams that work at Ravenswood, but also our community members, our students, our families, and making sure all of the voices are being held up and incorporated in the design and creation process. The second goal is around capacity building. This includes exploring opportunities for both families and students, as well as educators, to further develop their leadership and ability to be advocates for their educational experiences. We'll look into the current strengths and opportunities for the district, and also learn from best practices from other successful communities to expand our idea of what's possible. Goal number 3 is to co-create a community vision. Once we've had the opportunity to gather input from all of our stakeholders, we'll begin building that shared vision, including a portrait of a graduate and all of the core experiences and attributes we would want for the Ravenswood model. Goal number 4 is to begin piloting. So based on what we're hearing, we will start running these early tests to try and meet immediate needs and also to test what is emerging from our conversations. We'll document and learn from these so that we can decide what to carry forward as we continue building out the strategic plan. And then finally, goal number 5 is to establish a unified strategy, taking everything that we have learned and created together and defining that shared vision, including specific goals and milestones that we'll be able to take forward into the following phase. And now I'll turn it back over to Superintendent Sudaria to introduce the Bay Ed Fund.
So the Bay Ed Fund has 4 partners. Paul Keys is a managing partner, Ash Solar, Crystal Arizon, and Rachel Heredia. We've been working closely with Paul and Rachel the last few weeks. Specifically, the Bay Ed's Fund vision there is to ensure that public education prepares learners for the real world 25 years and beyond. It's not just preparing for college, it's preparing individuals to be thriving in the Bay Area. And you see their mission there as well, which I think reiterates our goal to have a shared vision. So by uniting behind a shared vision for educational excellence, we can create a brighter future for Ravenswood students. Bay Ed Fund is committed to supporting this vision by empowering communities, educators, and students, and providing the resources needed to bring this vision to life. Together, we can transform Ravenswood into a model school system and create opportunities for success that will benefit generations to come.
Thank you for the presentation.
And we do have also Paul and Rachel present online if there are any questions for staff and Bay Ed Fund.
Are there any questions or, well, first I'll ask, are there any public comments regarding this item? No. As I see none, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our comments and questions from the board. I think there was one question about the cost regarding this process. So I don't know if you want to answer it or share more.
So at this time, there is no cost. The Bay Ed Fund will be subsidizing the cost. Anything beyond the work around the engagement with the community, we will bring it before the board. But this MOU does not have a cost for the district.
And just to be clear as well, the MOU is for the Bay Ed Fund to be the lead in the engagement with the community. That's correct. Through the chair.
Question I have, it's sounding like, are we talking about possibly reimagining what school looks like and possibly leaving behind the standard practice of kids at desks? And I mean, is that what we're looking at possibly of doing like a moonshot, a radical changing of how Ravenswood educates students?
And that is what we want to learn from our community about how we should deliver and educate our kids.
Because what we've been doing is clearly not moving all the kids forward as the way that we would have wanted them to. This sounds exciting. This sounds really exciting to me.
Fantastic.
So thank you, Bay Ed Fund people.
Through the chair to that excitement, my vote's yes now before the move. No, I'm just kidding. The motion, but no, I'm wondering about a subcommittee because I know it says the work's gonna start in the fall, but there'll be pre-planning starting over the summer. So just pinging, which I know we're not discussing it now, it's not on the agenda per se, but we would perhaps need a subcommittee.
Definitely. So we definitely want the board to be involved, as this is as much of the community. This is you as a governing board leading this work as well. And so there are different levels of involvement. There is a guiding project committee, which is like a driving committee. Joy or Cylindra, do you have the other names off the top of your head of the 3 different groups? I believe there's also the visioning committee, and there's one more.
The broader community coalition. So it
Thank
would
you,
then
Paul.
encompass everyone. Yeah.
Sorry, can you?
Paul, do you mind sharing them again? Thank you.
Yeah, the 3 teams that we have outlined, which of course we could, there is flexibility on, but this is what we have done in our work with South San Francisco, where we have a guiding project team. So a smaller team that is really trying to think about resources and how we think about the timing and pacing of various milestones over the course of our time working on building the vision. The second group is what we call a vision team. And the vision team is made up of 15 to 25 members of the community. So we would imagine we would have families on that vision team, board members on that vision team, educators, of course, Gina and members of her team. And then the last is the community coalition, which of course, we're trying to think about how do we create the most inclusive and largest tent and really bring as many folks across the community, across the 4 stakeholders that Gina highlighted into the good work that's already happening in Ravenswood, and then contributing to a new vision for what the community wants to be true longer term.
Great, thank you.
And that was Paul Keys.
Right. Are there any other questions or comments from the board? That accent was Irish, in case anybody was wondering.
Oh, I know he's from
Okay.
Ireland. I could tell he was from Ireland. I was curious as to which county in Ireland he was
Oh.
from.
So
That's impressive. That's impressive.
That's more
My
specific.
mom's from Sligo, so that's why I wanted
Oh.
to know. Where are you from, Paul?
I'm from Derry. Sligo is very, very close to County Derry.
It is. I drove through
Yeah.
through Derry.
All right, thank you very much. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the MOU with Bay Ed Fund.
Through the chair, I'll make a motion to approve item number 8. I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you, Bay Ed Fund, Joy and Cylindra.
Yes, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you all. We're very excited.
We will move on to item number 9, which is the consideration to approve the agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula.
Yeah, so I will do a brief background here, give some brief information. And we also have members from BGCP here as well. So Ravenswood has received a significant amount of funding through the ELOP grant, the Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant, and will continue to expand its partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula. The BGCP will continue to run after-school programs at all sites and at least 4 weeks of summer programming on site. With an additional investment of $800,000, BGCP will manage summer programming, provide 15 days of inter-session programming, serve as the first point of contact during after-school hours. We are going to pilot a program to provide additional support during the school hours. And we will collaborate with district staff, or they will collaborate with district staff on committees to strengthen program alignment. So the MOU is designed to be from 2023 to 2027, but both parties can opt out at any time. And based on our understanding of the funding, we expect the funding to continue indefinitely. And if the funding does change, it will impact our contribution to BGCP, and both parties are aware of that. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments from the board?
I'll just make a comment of how much that I, as an educator in Ravenswood, appreciated BGCP and everything that was done for the students that I had in the program. And I don't know what Ravenswood would be like without BGCP as a partner. So.
Thank you for your service, BGCP, for, I think my kids know both of you or one of you. And so do I, but probably don't know all the names. But thank you so much for your partnership and your work with the kids in the after school program. And I'm looking forward to more partnership and alignment when it comes to just making sure that our programs are in collaboration with one another and that we're working well together. So I look forward to that and hope that that will also come forth through this MOU more than it already has. So I will currently entertain, well, is there any comments or questions from the public? Do I have any cards for that? No. Okay, so I will entertain a motion for approving item number 9, which is the MOU or the agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula.
I'll make a motion to approve item 9, the MOU with Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I'm going to move.
Thank you, BGCP.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to move on to item number 10, which is the consideration to approve the Board of Trustees governance meeting calendar for the 2023-2024 school year. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. So I will entertain a motion to approve. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 10.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. We will move on to item number 11, which is the superintendent's report.
Fabulous. We just announced again our new site administration. I also want to thank the current site administration for the dedication, time, and investment in our community and our students and families. This is also a time to acknowledge the fact that it is AAPI month, as well as Mental Health Awareness Month. Yesterday was Day of the Teacher, National Nurse Day, and we on Friday will be recognizing the individuals who provide service in the cafeteria for our students every day. So I also wanted to share with you that the School Attendance Review Board has been shifted to a more restorative approach led by our Educational Executive Director of Ed Services, Jennifer Gravum. And a successful STAR Resource Group Fair was held for families to connect with available resources. The district is excited about the upcoming field trip to Castaño School of the Arts, who will be hosting their school's production of The Lion King, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. We have a high enrollment in our current enrollment for our summer program right now. I think we're probably around 80% enrolled based on our predictions or estimations. I can't think of the word right now. Predictions of enrollment? Projections. Shuns, one of the shuns. Staff recruitment has been going well, and we are still continuing to recruit and hire for some of our classroom vacancies. And Bellahaven site is hosting Kinder Observation Days for families to visit kindergarten classrooms. And if you want, I'm trying to make more visits during the school days at lunchtime, and you're more than happy to join me. More than welcome to join me.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, we're going to move on to item number 12, which is board reports communication. All right, I will tack on one more thing that we are celebrating. So I want to say thank you to all of the people groups that Gina has already mentioned, or Superintendent Sudaria has already mentioned, but Sunday is also Mother's Day.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you for all of the moms out there and all of the people who mother our children on campus and after school, whether you're a mom or not. Thank you for your care, your kindness, and your love to make sure that all of our kids feel safe, protected, and free to learn. So we really appreciate you, and we really hope that everybody who does that mothering gets rest and feels celebrated. And if you don't have a special celebration, I am here to celebrate you. So I will make sure I include you in my celebration and my thoughts. And then I think that other than that, I was on Bellhaven's campus with Superintendent Sudaria this week. So that was a lot of fun just to taste the different waters that they're showing how much sugar is in different drinks, which was, you know it, but when you see it, it's different. So that was pretty interesting. And they had a lot of different flavors of water that I was like, oh, we can do some of this stuff at home. So that was great. Yeah. Looking forward to all the celebrations. I think there are no other board comments, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to item number 13, which is an informational item for, it says consideration to approve, but it's just an informational item. So if we have any questions or this is for a first reading. So this is just an informational item for a first reading. So we're not approving anything. It'll be on the next agenda item after we have a chance. So if there are any questions or comments, please feel free to share them now or email them to us during the week or talk to the superintendent during the weekly one-on-one. Okay, I will move on to item number 14, the consideration to approve the resolution 2022-23 board member excused absence for trustee Latu.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-2023 board member excused absences.
I'll second.
Right? And then you have to read it before we can vote. Yeah.
Resolution number 2022-2023-28, board members excused absences, whereas education code, so on and so forth.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 4-0. All right, our next regular board meeting will be held on May 25th at 6:30 p.m. Open session will be approximately at 7:15 p.m. Excuse me, 6:30 p.m. This is on record. May 25th, 2023, 6:30 p.m. and open session will be at 7:15 p.m. I now adjourn the Ravenswood regular board meeting at 8:04 p.m.